everybody, my name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you are a subscriber. As always, it's really lovely to have you here as I share my sewing journey. So welcome back to my channel. Today is one of my Sunday sewing catch-ups and we're on episode 52. So as usual, I've got lots of different things that I want to share with you today, including some things that I've been making. I've got pattern, I have got some sewing plans, and I've also got some fabric to share with you today. So before I dive into all of that, I'll let you know what I'm wearing. And I'm wearing a dress that I made a while ago. I don't wear it very often, I'm not quite sure why, but I've got it out today because it's a little bit cool in London, but it's still warm enough to wear a dress with no tights. And it is the Friday Pattern Company Davenport dress. And now I've put it on, I absolutely love it. And I loved when I was sewing it. I've made a couple of versions. I think perhaps maybe it's a bit too fancy for work, and that's why I don't grab it out the wardrobe when I'm getting ready for work. So the pattern has got these really lovely, quite tiny little ruffles across the shoulder. It's got this elastic channel here, which creates all these gathers here. And then it's got an elasticated, not elasticated, it's got a waist channel with a drawstring. It's got pockets, and then it's also got a ruffle on the hem. And then the sleeves are a bit billowy, and you've got elastic in the sleeves as well. I can't remember where I got this fabric from, but I've popped it on today just with some trainers, and it's really comfortable to wear. So I think it's a dress that I need to get out more at the weekends. So that's what I'm wearing. Where possible, I'll put pictures in of me wearing various things, and I'll always link everything down below as well if it's still in stock. So what have I been sewing? Last Sunday catch up, I talked about making some dolls clothes, some more dolls clothes. And then I also talked about finishing off some acacia knickers. So I'm pleased to say that I've been able to get those things done. And then I've got a couple of dresses to share with you as well, which I wasn't expecting to get sewn up this week, but I felt really inspired to get them cut out. And then I spent some time yesterday sewing a couple of dresses up, which was really lovely. So let me start with the dolls clothes. So I said last week that I was going to cut out some more little skirts, and that's exactly what I've done. I've ran out of elastic, which is really annoying because I ended up cutting, I think, about 15 little skirts, and I've only got elastic for 4 of them. So I've got a big pile of sort of skirts that are stitched, but I haven't hemmed them and I haven't done the elastic channel yet because I'm waiting for some more elastic to arrive. Because for these skirts, because they're for dolls, I need the 3mm elastic, and I've run out. So this is a really cute sort of, I think it was called Cosmic Clouds fabric from Fleur et Heurts. I don't know if they've got any of this left, but I've used this to sew up a dress, which I'll share with you. And I had a little offcut. So I've made a really cute little mini skirt for a dolly, just with an elasticated channel, and I've just hemmed it. And then it's just got one seam. I literally cut out a rectangle of this fabric to make a cute little skirt. And then I've got some gingham fabric. I've still got loads of offcuts of gingham fabric from the various things that I've been sewing up using gingham. So I've made a cute little green skirt in gingham fabric. And then again, I've made a dress in this fabric. If they've got any of this left, I'll pop it down below. It's a really lovely, bright, fun, colourful cotton fabric. So I've just made it to make a cute little skirt. And then this fabric was from Felicity Fabrics. I used it to make a Hey SewSister dress for my holiday, and I had an offcut and I couldn't resist. This is a slightly longer skirt if you compare it to that one. So we've got a little mini skirt, and then we've got sort of a longer, it's probably going to be a maxi on the dolly actually. But yeah, I've enjoyed sewing various lengths, just using all the scraps of fabric. So I've got 4 skirts ready. I'll take them into school tomorrow. I've got a pile of skirts here, all formed. You can see it's just a rectangle that's now a tube, and I need to hem them, and I need to create the elastic channel in all of them. So we've got blue, we've got purple, we've got that green cloche fabric that I got from New Craft House that I had some left over, some more of the ones that I've just shown you, some yellow gingham, but yeah, I've shown you blue, green, and then I have a tiny bit of this linen fabric as well. So I think I've got about 14 skirts in this pile here, just waiting for some elastic so I can hem them and then put the elastic in, and then I'll have lots of skirts to take to school for the children, so they can use the little skirts to dress the dollies. And then the other thing that I said I was going to do was I had a pile of Megan Nielsen acacia knickers that I'd already cut out and sewn. I just needed to insert the knicker elastic. So So I've got, how many pairs did I get finished? I think I've got 6 that I got finished. And then I've got, I think, about 6 or 7 pairs that I still need to put the elastic in. And that's just going to be an ongoing project. So I'll show you the ones that are finished. The Megan Nielsen Acacia Pants knicker pants pattern is a free pattern. So I'll link it down below so you can go and check it out. But I had some offcuts of fabric from various projects. And then I also had a couple of dresses that I made for Ruby and Lola that they were too small. The dresses were too small now. So I cut them up and I've used that to make some acacia pants, just with some white knicker elastic. And I've got 2 pairs of those ones. And then I had a scrap of this that was from by Graziella Fabrics. I used it to sew up a Nova jumpsuit, a True Bias Nova jumpsuit. And you can see where I've had to just sort of piece it together at the front. I don't think it matters because it's just a pair of knickers. But I've used those, I've used the scraps to sew up a pair of acacia pants in that fabric. And then I had a tiny bit of this Frida Kahlo fabric. I think I got this from Sew Me Sunshine and they sold out really quickly. And oh gosh, ages ago when I cut these out and I shared them on my channel, I'd matched this with a random busy print and I got lots of suggestions to unpick that and find sort of a navy jersey, and I did have an offcut of navy jerseys, so that's what I've done. And I think it works so much better with that offcut of the Frida Kahlo fabric with just the plain navy jersey. So I've got a pair of knickers that I've got Frida Kahlo on. And then I've got 2 pairs that are the same of this sort of jungle print fabric, which I think is so fun. And then I've just used green knicker elastic, and I think it works really nicely against that jungle print. So I've just got 2 pairs of those as well. So I'm really pleased to have got some of those knickers finished, and then I'll just show you the ones that I've got left and I just need to put the elastic in. So I've got a pile here. So I've got some that have got heart print on them. And then I've got some that I've got leopard print on them, and I've got 2 pairs of the leopard print. And then I've got some, this again was a dress that fitted Lola, but it doesn't fit her anymore. So I've chopped it up to make some knickers. And I've got 2 pairs of those ones just waiting for elastic. And then I've got 2 pairs of the moustache cotton jersey. I've turned this into a t-shirt for Ruby, and then I just had some offcuts. So I've got 2 pairs of those to put elastic in. And then I thought I'd try some with an offcut of lycra just to see what they feel like and whether they fit well. So I've got a very bright pair of lycra acacia pants and I just need to put the elastic in. So that shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to chip away at them over the next couple of weeks. So next Sunday, hopefully I'll have a few more pairs of knickers to share with you that I've got elastic in. And then the other thing that I have sewn up is the pattern that I wanted to talk about. So I'll talk about the pattern first and then I'll show you the versions that I've sewn up. So I've got the booklet here. It's the new pattern from Tilly and the Buttons. And just to say, they did send me this as a PDF. So it was gifted to me, no obligation to share. And I just wanted to talk about my experience of sewing it up. So it's called the Marnie. It comes in sizes UK 6 to 34. It's a blouse, which is this one, or a mini dress, which is this one. And the mini dress does stop above your knees, so it is a mini dress with optional tucks. You can just see these cute pin tucks here and also on the sleeves, and also optional ruffles. So you can see the ruffles here as well. So this one is the blouse version and this is the mini dress. I love both versions here. Let me open it up and let you know a little bit about it. So it says, romantic, floaty and super swishy, the Marnie blouse and mini dress will steal your heart. Keep it simple or add the pretty tucks and ruffles. So it's a breezy smock style bodice with princess seams and gentle gathering under the yokes, dreamy optional undulating tucks on front yoke and sleeves, round neckline finished with bias binding with an optional ruffle collar, which I haven't chosen to do. And then there's an optional shoulder ruffle for extra drama. I have added the optional shoulder ruffle. 2-piece full-length bishop sleeves and elasticated hem, and a keyhole back opening with a button and loop. Choice of blouse or mini dress hem length. So here are the line drawings. So I've sewn up this version and I haven't gone for the tucks that you get on the sleeve or the top part here. I haven't gone for the tucks yet, but I am going to sew a version up with the pin tucks because I'm really interested in trying that method. So in terms of fabric recommendations, they recommend light to medium weight woven fabric. So a cotton lawn, a poplin, double gauze, viscose. And for the version with tucks, they recommend lightweight woven fabrics like a cotton lawn, voile, poplin, Swiss dot, seersucker, double gauze and chambray. So I've chosen 2 cotton poplins to sew up my versions and I'll share them with you now. I've really enjoyed sewing this up. I have sewn the mini dress, so that's my experience of sewing it up. It's got some really interesting features and really lovely sort of design lines as well. My favourite sort of thing is, I don't know if you can see it on here. So it's got a yoke at the front, which is slightly gathered into this front panel piece, and then you've got side panel pieces as well. The sleeve is really interesting in terms of construction because you've got this sort of gathered piece at the bottom, and then you've got the regular sleeve pattern piece as well, and then you've got elastic finishing it. So there's gathering on the sleeve, and there's gathering here, and then there's also gathering on the back where you've got the yoke as well. And then if you add those ruffles, that's also a really cute detail too. So I really enjoyed sewing it up. It's aimed at improvers, so not a very beginner sewist, but improvers. If you've sewn a couple of garments, I think you would be able to tackle this because the instructions are written really well and they hold your hand. There's loads of blog posts and videos and things as well to go along with the Marnie. So if you've sewn a couple of garments, I would definitely say that you could give this a go. It wasn't a tricky sew at all. There was lots of steps because you've got lots of panels that you're fitting, and especially if you're going for the tucks or you've got the ruffles, there are a few more steps if you're going for that. And I'm really interested in sewing up this version that's got the tucks as well, but I feel like it needs to be on a plain fabric if I'm going to sew up the version with the tucks. So I'm going to go through my stash and see if I've got any fabrics that are fairly plain in their sort of design to see if I can have a go at doing that as well. And I've also got some denim in my stash which I'm considering using. It's not a heavyweight denim, it's sort of a medium weight denim, so that might work really nicely. I thought I could sew up the dress version in the denim without the tucks because I think the tucks might be a bit too big and bulky with the denim. But then what I would like to do is where the ruffle is, I'd like to do a contrast ruffle with like a floral fabric that I've got in my stash. So I've already got lots of versions of the Marnie planned, even though I've sewn 2 versions already. So both fabrics are from Fleur et Heureuse. I'll link them down below if they've still got them in stock. The first one, I only just finished these yesterday, so I think I've still got a few threads on the inside. But the first one is in this really bright and colourful cotton poplin. I absolutely love it. I think it's so fun. And I think this is going to go so nicely with a pair of tights and some boots for sort of autumn wear. So if I stand up, you'll be able to see, but I will put pictures in of me wearing this as well. So you've got a yoke at the front. It's going to be really tricky to see because it's so busy. You've got a yoke at the back, and then that creates this sort of keyhole opening. I've just gone for a pink button, and if I fasten it up, there we go, you'll be able to see you get that keyhole opening. And then along the shoulder, you've got this gorgeous ruffle all the way along, and it goes down the back as well. And then the sleeves are really interesting because you've got all this gathering. So you've got the regular sleeve section, and then you've got this really gathered poofy section, and then you've got elastic at the end. And then it's going to be tricky to show you because of the busyness of the fabric, but the way it's constructed is you've got a panel down the front, and then you've got side panel here, and then you've got the side panel at the back as well, and then you've got another panel at the back too. So it was a really interesting pattern to sew up, some really interesting sort of construction in terms of sewing it as well. It took, I mean, I didn't time myself, but I had the afternoon yesterday, and it did take all afternoon to get it sewn up. I don't know how many hours really, maybe 5 or 6 hours to sew it up. But that's the first version, and I'll put pictures of me wearing that one. And then the second version is less sort of autumnal. I was a bit worried about this looking a bit like a nightie because I think it's called Cloudscape, this fabric, which I really love, and it's sort of pastel-y. I was worried about it looking like a nightie because it's got the night sort of sections with the moon on, but I do absolutely love it, and it's a bit easier to see the panels on this fabric because although it's busy, it's not as busy as the other one. So you've got the yoke at the front, and then you've got all this lovely gathering where you've got that front panel that goes all the way down, and then you can just see the side seam there. And then you've got the back panel as well, which is identical to the front. You just cut the back panel slightly shorter. And then you've got the yoke on the back with some gathering. And then I went for this heart-shaped button because I think it goes really nicely with that. And then you've also got the ruffle going here and all the way around the front as well. And then the sleeve is exactly the same. So the sleeve, it's fairly sort of slim, and then you've got this lovely gathered section to the sleeve which creates that bishop sleeve, and then you've got elastic on the bottom as well. So this one is also the mini dress version, and I really love that one, and that stops just above my knee, but I'll put pictures in so you can see what both of them look like. This one I don't think needs to be worn with tights because of the style and also because of the design of the fabric, whereas this one, I think because it's got some dark sections to it, it looks fairly dark. I think the black tights and boots would go really nicely with that one. So that's how I'm planning to style that one. And then this one I'll just wear Converse with, I think, or just some trainers. But I think I could also style this for the autumn with some maybe navy tights, or I could pick one of the colours in the fabric. Maybe some green tights would be really fun as well. So I wasn't expecting to sew those two, but I really enjoyed sewing them up. And I've definitely got more plans to sew up a couple more Marnies, and I want to have a go at sewing up a blouse as well with those pin tucks using a fairly plain fabric as well. So the next thing I wanted to quickly share, I talked about this last weekend as the pattern, but my Grab a Cuppa Cardi by Pattern Emporium booklet has arrived and my pattern's arrived. So I'm going to trace that off and have a go at sewing that up because I'm doing the collaboration with the lovely Becky, who's Notes from the Sewing Room. If you haven't watched that video yet, I'll link them both down below. But now that my pattern and my booklet has arrived, I can get going with the fabric that I'm going to use for my cardi. And talking about fabric for my cardi, that's exactly what's arrived. So I've just got a lovely neat pile of fabric from Hey SewSister. Here it is, my lovely selection of fabric. And then they also sent me a little label that's Hey SewSister, and it says on the back, "Thanks, I made it." So I've got two sweatshirt fabrics that I ordered. I've got this lovely green sweatshirt fabric, and then I've got the lovely pink sweatshirting fabric. So I could really see those two going together to make either a cardigan or a jumper. And then I ordered some ribbing. So I've got some purple ribbing. I just think those three colours go really nicely together. So they may become a colour blocked cardi or a colour blocked jumper. And then this is my favourite fabric that I ordered from them. So this was the jacquard fabric that had apples all over it, and it's arrived. It's a really weighty fabric and it's really interesting fabric. I'm so pleased I managed to get some of this. It feels quite thick and it's sort of, I'm not quite sure how it's been formed. I think where the apples have been stitched, that's how the fabric's attached. So this is what it looks like at the front. So it's sort of a cream colour with the apples. It has got a little bit of stretch. Actually, it's got quite a lot of stretch. And it's a very, very bouncy fabric. And then this is what the back looks like. So I think that's like the jacquard sort of type effect. And then if you look at the top, you'll be able to see it's open ever so slightly where the two fabrics are. And where you've got the apples, that's what's stitching the fabric together and holding it in place. So as you look at the side, that's also been sort of almost knitted together. There's no gap at the side of the fabric, but there is at the top and there is at the bottom. But I think this will make a really lovely either jumper or cardigan. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one or the sweatshirting that I showed you, the colour block sweatshirting for the Grab a Cuppa Cardi, or I might use the plain peach or the plain blue fabric that I got from Abercorn Fabrics. But I love this fabric. I think it's so fun, and whatever I turn it into, I think it's going to be really cute. So I'm excited about that fabric. And then I also ordered a bundle of fabric from Felicity Fabrics, and that has arrived. I've just got it here. So over on the Felicity Fabrics website, they've got an option for you to search for bundles, and I'll link that down below so you can go and check them out. But they're always really great sort of price range, and you usually get 3 sort of fabrics together, different lengths. It depends on the price of the bundle and the bundle that you choose. And I went for a knit bundle, and it was called the green bundle. And here it is. It's come wrapped in this beautiful ribbon. I got a metre of each of these fabrics, and they're going to become either a jumper or a t-shirt. I've not quite decided what pattern I'm going to use yet. This one is like a t-shirt weight jersey, and it's just white with green stripes. I absolutely love it. I think this would work really nicely as like a mock turtleneck top, so I might end up using the Tilly and the Buttons Freya pattern to turn that into like a mock turtleneck with long sleeves for the winter and autumn when it starts to get a little bit chilly. And then I've got this like, I don't know what they call this type of fabric, but it's sort of got a texture to it, but it's got that sort of pattern to it, and it's got a stretch to it as well. And I think this would suit being turned into a jumper. So maybe Nina Lee's South Bank jumper, South Bank sweater. That's one of my favourite jumper patterns because it's quite oversized, but it's nice and snuggly. So I think this would work really nicely as that. And then the final one is this really lovely, it's sort of quite a delicate print. It's a cotton jersey again, and it's white, but it's got all these gorgeous little leaves all over it, and it's just such a delicate print. And they're in sort of a sage green colourway. I'm not sure if that's coming up. And I think that would work as a nice little t-shirt that could go with some of my trousers and also some of my skirts that I've got, and also just as a layering piece underneath jumpers and cardigans as well. So I think that's going to be a t-shirt. I think that's going to be a jumper. And I think that one's going to be like a mock turtleneck sort of jumper slash top. So I think I've decided what I'm going to turn them into. And then when you order the bundles, you also get this cute little bag of thread to go with the fabrics that you've ordered as well, which is a really lovely touch. If you are interested in ordering from Felicity Fabrics, you can get 10% off using the discount code Liz10. It doesn't expire. It's because I'm a blogger for them, and they've given all of the bloggers discount codes. So do head over to Felicity Fabrics and check out all their gorgeous fabrics because they're beautiful. And they always come packaged in these beautiful boxes, and you just feel like you're opening a little present to yourself as well. So that was all of the fabrics I wanted to share with you, and that was all of the patterns because I've already talked about the Marnie. The final thing I wanted to end with was my sewing plans. So I've already talked about finishing the doll skirts, and I've already talked about finishing the acacia knickers. I have got some Persephone trousers that I have had almost finished for months. And they're in this sort of brushed cotton fabric from Abercorn Fabrics, and I used this fabric to make a pair of Helen's Closet Yanta overalls. So they're constructed. I've done the button fly. I haven't added, have I added buttons? I was going to say no, I haven't added buttons, but I've done the buttonholes and the flies in. I just need to put buttons on that side. And then I need to put the pockets in because I haven't done the pockets, attach the waistband, attach the belt loops, and then they'll be finished because the rest of it is completely constructed. And I think these are going to be fantastic for the autumn. And actually some of these jumpers and tops that I'm going to be sewing up might go with these. So I just need to get a wriggle on and get those finished because I think they will really add to my autumn work wardrobe. So they shouldn't take too long, maybe a couple of hours of sewing left to get those finished. And then I've also been cutting out some Anthea blouses. It's my favourite blouse pattern. I absolutely love it. And I've cut it out in this gorgeous green and blue Pigeon Wishes fabric. And also this sort of space print fabric that I got from Sister Mintaka ages ago. I love it. And I think the children will love it when I wear that as a blouse to work, especially when we're learning about space. So I've got two blouses that I want to get sewn up as well. And then I've got some fabric here, and I can't remember where I got this from. If I remember, I'll put a thing in that says where I got it from. And I got this thinking of my husband, and I was going to turn it into a shirt for him. I've sewn him loads of shirts recently. So I think I'm going to keep this for myself, and I want to turn it into a top. And the reason I'm sharing it with you, because it's quite a narrow fabric. That's how wide it is. And I got 1.5 meters of this. I've tried to fit the Anna Allen Anthea blouse pattern piece on here, but it's too narrow for the sleeve pattern piece, which is a bit of a shame really, because that style of blouse, sort of oversized, voluminous sleeves, curved hem, buttons down the front, is the sort of shirt sort of pattern that I was looking for this fabric. But anyway, it doesn't fit. I've tried all kinds of ways of trying to get the pattern to fit, and it just doesn't fit. I haven't got enough fabric because of the size of the sleeve. So I'd like your recommendations of what top pattern I can use with this fabric. It's a really lightweight fabric, and I feel like I need some kind of lovely voluminous sleeve without it being too voluminous, which kind of contradicts itself, because I just need to be mindful of the size of the pattern pieces, because I've only got 1.5 meters of this, and it's quite a narrow fabric as well. So please do let me know in the comments below if you've got a top suggestion for me. I don't want it to be too much of a busy top either, because I don't want to break up that print too much. So please do let me know in the comments if you've got a top suggestion for this beautiful cotton fabric. So lovely and light and airy, and I can just see it going with some of my trousers and skirts, but also underneath some dungarees as well. So I'm quite keen to get that sewn up for the autumn winter as well. And then I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody that told me where to get some of the cotton poplin that I was looking for. I think it was the Pigeon Wishes fabric. I've got the neon orange print, and I was looking for the green floral print. I've managed to get some from Fabric Godmother. So thank you to everybody that commented on my video and told me where to go and get it from. I really appreciate it, and I've got some of that fabric coming, so I'm really excited about that. I think that's everything that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I've been sewing and hearing what I've been getting up to. If you've enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I really would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Take care, and I'll be back really soon with another video. Bye.